We're gonna be picking up the old axle sometime next week.
2 project vehicles and a new pair of wheels.
We have to go to Alabama to get it, but that's okay. Cool road trip. Ready?
It's a couple minutes.
Safe and stuff. Yeah, it's good. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Stance Brothers LLC podcast. This is episode 6.
That's crazy. I didn't write that down.
Exciting.
You mentioned that. It
is 7:45 a.m. in the morning, and another one up here in Andrew's room.
Yes, in my apartment.
Started out in the shop, but now my truck is in there. And
besides, it's freezing.
It's 32 degrees outside. You know, some of y'all may be from somewhere else, and 32 is like, dude, I go out in my t-shirt.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, listen, it's cold for us here, and anyhow, but yeah, we're excited for another one, and Andrew's gonna be sharing with us a verse today. And
Yeah. Well, still going through Hebrews. Sounds like it's like a disease or a trial. I've been going through Hebrews. Anyway, this from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. And that's an interesting thought, being trained by discipline. And, I just wrote some thoughts down. God's discipline is for our good. Wood is useful once it is cut. Metal is strong once it is burned. Trees have good fruit after they are pruned. Fire is helpful so long as it is contained. Food is most beneficial when it is regulated. These things are all reasonable and true. We all acknowledge these as good and beneficial. So when God asks us to cut off certain behaviors and regulate our passions and contain our thoughts and sends us through fiery trials, we should be grateful. It is reasonable and beneficial that he would do this so that we can be useful. It is for our good and the good of his kingdom.
Yeah.
And I think getting a visual on that, whatever you do, whatever it is that you do, if it's if it's a car thing, figure out your own visual. My vehicle will continue to decay from rust if I don't cut the rust off. And so the benefit of taking away comes in that way. And so so whatever helps to visualize it. But for me, I've been working on my little apartment and stuff, and I can't build cool stuff. I can't finish my cabinets if I don't cut up some wood and things, and we can't get fit unless we cut out some food and we go, oh yeah, bet.
Yeah,
but when God wants to cut things from our life so that we can be useful and better, we need to also equally be just like I need that for this situation here, I personally need that.
This is why it's good for me.
From him. Yeah, he's building something sick with my life. You know what I mean?
100%.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll be moving into our weekly update, and thank you for that thought, by the way. Got a couple got a couple things that happened this week. We'll first talk about the axle for the truck.
Yeah, I think we touched on that in our last podcast, but we got kind of an update from that since that
for
time.
For sure. I called Lindsay Ring and Pinion locally in the area, and they told us that the repair was going to cost us $3,800.
Yeah. We don't have that.
Axle, I feel like that's a lot of money. But
you could buy a new project vehicle for that.
You could.
So
the stuff we do, it's wow, you could buy
2 project vehicles and a new pair of wheels.
Exactly.
And coilovers.
So that accumulates to a lot right there of leverage that I just didn't expect us to have to put into one part. But thankfully, buddy Jeremy reached out to someone he knows, and we were able to get an axle. We have to go to Alabama to get it, but that's okay. Cool road trip.
What a bummer, a road trip, right?
Gonna get to Alabama to get it. Gonna cost about $500 to pick up the axle, bring it back here. It'll bolt right up. It's off another square body that'll fit.
Was the gearing the same?
The gearing is the only thing we don't know about. So we're gonna be picking up the old axle sometime next week, and then also picking up the new axle and just comparing them, counting the gear teeth and everything, and seeing if they match up. So that is a pretty big deal. Going from having to pay out $3,800 to and not having it to, okay, we do have $500 that we can pay out, and then we're hoping, doing some quick math, it should shake out to be that this whole thing costs us $1,000 or less.
Yeah.
For the repair instead of 3 times that. So
hopefully, even with the trip down to.
Oh yeah.
The trip included, it should still cost us less.
Yeah, the trip. Okay, if we include the trip with fuel, it'll probably cost us maybe $1,200.
Okay, but still, compared to $3,800.
Yeah, when we talked about it first, we were like, okay, let's make sure it doesn't cost more than $1,500.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost more than 3 months worth of income for us. So
stinking. That's a lot.
But other than that, that's huge. You got some jobs completed this week. We got some more money to pay for the axle.
Seriously. Well, I got a one of the contractors we were working for has this apartment that they were asked to kind of like spruce up, basically. Yeah. And they were just going to do all of it themselves and stuff like that. So we were just going over to drop our trailer off.
Yeah.
But then they're like, well, can you actually like go out back and, we said we were doing some tree work. So he's like, can you cut this tree out and take that out and get that down and out to the trailer and everything like that. So I had to climb it. It was like a little tree, but still it was like close to the house. Stupid backyard was caged in. So like you have the house and then you have the backyard fenced in here and there's no outdoor access.
There's no gates?
No, there's nothing. So you have to walk through the house, and then come into the backyard, cut the tree up here, delimb this other tree in the back, and then cut everything up and take it back through the stupid house. And so I don't know.
Nobody thought that through, did they?
What brilliant genius designed that layout. But it seemed apparent that the trees started growing after the apartment complex was built. So it was an older complex.
Okay, well, hey, so long as we made money off that, when I know we made some good money off of that, we'll be good to go. Mm-hmm. We just finished editing our 12th YouTube video. 12th, 11th. 11th YouTube video last night, and should be posted soon.
Yeah. Okay. So I did get that edited. That was a long one. That was tough. A lot of edit. A lot of clips. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to say about that.
Well, you mentioned to me that it's like I'm having to work hard to keep this interesting because it's actually a longer video.
Yeah, facts. No, because it
is interesting.
In our other videos, we've had more interesting aspects. We're either installing something interesting, like we've had headers or exhaust or cold air intake, or we're doing a dyno test and things like that. And so we've had interesting aspects. This was just garage. Standing around a car in a garage, trying to get it running. And it's like, how interesting and engaging can that possibly be? And
the right people, very.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, just a quick lesson I learned this week.
Yeah.
Was I'm studying quick lesson I'm learning, quick thing I'm like putting action to. I'm studying up on content creation and figuring out what direction I want to go as far as content, and then what does my role look like in our YouTube channel, in our business, defining it. Mm-hmm. Instead of, hey, it's just all hands on deck in here doing whatever I possibly can. It's like, well, if I define that, we actually could grow a whole lot more.
Right. If we know who does what. Exactly.
So that's what I'm working on. Those are the action steps I'm taking.
That's great. For me, was time management was a big one. Like I was editing yesterday, and I was like, man, I could really use 2 more hours. And turns out those 2 hours I needed was the hour that I wasted here, the hour and then the other 2 half-hour sections that I wasted over here and over here. And I could have had those 2 more super valuable hours.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I am not good at is getting right off of social media and stuff like that. And like when I do start just like looking, I just go.
Yeah.
And so this week I'm not going to be on social media unless I'm posting. I'll only be on to make posts, check our stats, and be off.
Good deal.
Like, that's the thing. So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, hey, that wraps it up for episode 6.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, if you would, please. And then just remember this last thing.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day. Edison tried 1,000 times. So be patient. Just start.